Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, we've got LunarLancerAlia playing the Tier 10 US, we'll call it a premium, or is it special, to Salem. You're probably familiar with it, even if you don't have it, I'm sure you've encountered it. I think the Salem's fun to play. Arguably not as effective a damage dealer as Des Moines, maybe not quite as tanky, but the heal on this thing is phenomenal. Now, I have not watched this game, so we will be enjoying this together. Like I often do, I recorded this while doing other things, and this is really the first chance I've had to sit and take a look at it. Now, taking a look at the opposing team, well, there is a little bit of a DD threat in the form of Gearing and Shimakaza, and I think 2 Petros on the enemy team is definitely a threat. 2 Des Moines on the enemy team. The battleships, unless you get caught broadside, not as big a threat. I mean, they can still land one right through your nose, but unless you show broadside, it's hard to get blapped just outright. But that's a lot of cruiser power in this game. I'm going to move up and sit just shy of the Delta cap, it appears, and lob shells over the edge of this island. Now, what are some differences about the radar? Well, I think the radar on the Salem, is it the same range, or is it? I think it might be a little bit shorter range. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't played this ship in quite a while. I have far too many ships. A broadside Petro with some AP, and you can see the arcs on this thing. I mean, they're typical of US cruisers. Petro appears to be trying to accelerate. And Petro is now turning out. So just a little bit of damage there, not too much. Now, friendly Gearing, he's running outside. And there are 2 battleships up there, Yamato and Republic, so, maybe he'll be able to get a good torpedo drop as those battleships come around the corner there. Now, looking at the division of forces, got Smolensk this side, Thunderer, Prusen, Gearing, and a Salem, versus what? 2 Petros, Grosse Kurfürst, Republik, and Yamato. Enemy CV. I'm not sure what he's searching for. Maybe he... Yeah, I guess he just dropped the Slava back there. Alia picks up the Gearing. A little too close to the island for the front guns to get over the edge, but there we go. Petro back there burning. There's some nice damage. So the enemy Gearing does pick up the Delta cap. There's the radar from the Petro. Kurfürst might have a shot over the edge of the island, but it'll be close. And it looks like he's going to push up a little bit and make that a little tougher. I think it is time to get the heck out of Dodge. With Yamato coming around the corner, Alia's going to be in the position potentially of being, either posting up right here and just nose in firing, or trying to falling back and leave Alia in a position of having to show some broadside. So it looks like Alia's just going to stay nose in here. Probably the best bet given how close the Yamato seemed to be. Elbing on the other side he's really close to the Shima, so the Reds might lose their Shima here. Elbing has some nice damage output potential, and I'm guessing that Elbing is smoked up right now. Stalingrad is using his radar. That's going to keep Shima lit up. And Yamato sitting broadside to the Salem. He's, there's some potential for big damage here. If he can land some shells. Yamato slammed on the brakes and slowed down. Yeah, there we go. So that's a nice hit. And he's going to be able to do that as long as Yamato is sitting at that angle. And that looks like at least one torp hit there. And Yamato now accelerating. And Alia takes out the Salem. Nicely done. Fires off the radar. You can see the GK, I think, already, but no sign of the enemy gearing. And Des Moines on the other side takes out the Yamato. So the bad guys are down 3 ships. Good guys still have everything on their team. And it looks like Alia has decided to push up and engage the Republique. There's a Petro radar. This Petro comes down around the corner. Just able to get the front guns over the edge of the island. There's a fire. And Republic repairs immediately. There's the potential here to pick up a perma-fire. Gotta be careful not to push too far forward, but... Oh, switches to AP. Well, let's see, 55 degrees of angle. So yeah, I mean, there is potential here for some good damage with the AP. I think I probably would have stayed with the fire potential, but yeah, you can see the damage there. I mean, these are heavy AP shells. And slowing down to make sure he doesn't push out all around that edge there. Now, there is some danger here in this location. I think I'd throw it in reverse here because now you've got 2 radars out here, and the second radar may fire and leave you open to shots from the Republic, but time will tell. Now, let's see if this Petro is going to show broadside here. Like most Russian ships, very awesome until or unless you're forced into a situation where you're showing some broadside. The Petro's turning nose in now. And still some nice damage. Petro's got an icebreaker, right? So aiming high, make sure you are doing the damage. That's probably the Des Moines radar there, and Des Moines now pushing ahead. Petro's turning in. I think, yeah, switch to the HE, finish off the Petro, and then go right back to the AP. The nice HE shots on the Petro, which is healing, of course. And just keep reversing. Gearing goes down, but the heal on this thing is going to keep Alia's going to be fine here. I mean, there's going to be some damage for sure. Look at that Petro heal. Holy cow.
The ship is on fire.
Switches back to AP. think HE probably would be the better bet here, but Thunderer finishes off the Petro. That's going to just leave the Des Moines.
Problem solved, sir.
Good guys now down 2 ships, the Prusen and Gearing. Bad guys are down 5 ships. And Des Moines says, you know what? I don't think I want to push farther ahead and eat more damage from the Thunderer. Nice timing on the radar. Gearing is in big trouble here, sitting broadside at range 6. And only 33 seconds until the heel comes back up. That should be it for Gearing. And 19 seconds now till the heel comes up. And you can see bow in against the DM, doing pretty well. DM now switched to HE in order to get some damage. 10 seconds to the heel. And the heel on this thing is just magnificent. So we're sitting at very few HP right now. And there's the heel. Now you can see he's going to be back looking pretty good HP-wise by the time this heel's done. Now granted, there's going to be additional damage taken from the Des Moines, but just in terms of you know what the heel can do, the DM really can't compete with that. And this next volley will finish off the Des Moines. Oh, well, almost. There we go. All right, so you know, pushed into the range of the Petro, and you know, showing broadside. So you know, maybe pushing ahead like that wasn't the best bet. I think probably the same thing could have been done in the original position, but still, 253 shells on target, 6 fires started, 3 ships sunk, 4 incapacitations, 4 secondary hits, which that's pretty amazing in a Salem. Really nicely played game. 140,000 plus damage, 833,000 potential damage. That's some serious tanking out of a cruiser, and really held that flank. And now the good guys are just going to be mopping up, I think. It is still a relatively close game, I guess you could say, but now with the loss of the Republique from the Nakhimov, I think this is all over. Petro may be trying for a ram, hard to tell. No, he's turning out, so yeah, that's it for him. So if you don't have the Salem but you like U.S. cruiser play, it is a fun ship to play. I like it. Now some people might argue that why pick up the Salem if you've got the Des Moines? Yeah, I guess that is a valid argument, I guess. But I still think the Salem is fun, and it does play a little bit differently. As I mentioned, maybe not quite as tanky nose in as the Des Moines, but in a lot of cases that heel, that kind of super heel, can really make a big difference. And Audacious is caught kind of broadside. We'll see. No way to know how much damage there, but I'm sure that hurt. And I'm sure the Thunder is going to be able to pick off the GK here if the game lasts that long. So, if you like U.S. cruiser play, I think the Salem is a good pickup. It's very fun. I haven't played tons of games in mine, but I really enjoyed the games that I did play in the ship. And I'm sure I'll play again at some point. What do you think? Do you have the ship? Do you like it? Do you like the U.S. cruiser line? Do you enjoy that play style? If you have the Salem and have the Des Moines, which one do you prefer and why? Great game, LunarLancerAlia. I really appreciate you sending the replay in. Those of you joining me, I really appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed this, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
guns in 5 minutes.